Welcome to our videos on SAP Material Ledger Solution Architect role. In this video, we're going to simply load the supporting cost center cost because of the experiment that we're trying to achieve, which is to be able to determine the correct rate of the fixed cost in the production centers later. For that reason, we need to make sure that the values that we put in the individual supporting cost centers, and that will come later on as assessment into production cost centers, those values are correct so that our data can be reliable on the accounting side. So here's what we do then. I'm going to go ahead and log on to SAP. So we're logging on to SAP right now. And then I'm going to upload the file that contains all the fixed costs of all the cost centers. Okay, and to do that, first I need to check to make sure that my Hana's profile is correctly set to the one that we had defined to do the upload. So this is it. It's Z16R. So this is good. We go, and now we're going to go and run the KP06. Okay, in the cost center budget loading. And here we go this way, 9 to 12 and 2019. Then we're going to do an upload. Of Excel file which we already prepared, and here we go and find our comma separated value file extension. So comma separated values extension, and get the file name. This one, and then here we go with G. Yes, this is the one we want. Make sure that our extension file is the correct one. And before I get to here, what I like to do is to show that there's no value in the cost centers. So we're going to run this report. Okay. The cost center report, famous and most general use cost center report, comparing the actual and plan of the loads. So to go and do this and just run. If there is anything, we'll know. So as you can see, the report contains no data. So we're now going to go ahead and go out of this report and move back to the upload. So we're now going to go and process this Excel upload to actually load the values into our cost centers, and these are only fixed costs in every cost center. So this is correct. Now that this is correct, let's go back to this one and see what we got. So every one of the cost centers is loaded with some values. Okay, we go into one of the production cost centers. Yes. So given this, now go to go out and run just the assessment on these cost centers. Okay, to determine this, the assessment will move all the costs of the supporting cost centers into the production cost centers, and that way we'll be able to calculate or determine the amount of fixed cost, total fixed cost in every production cost center. This is where we need to define the rate for the fixed cost so that again our data is correct and reliable. We want to get the correct price, especially fixed price for the cost in the cost center. So we just went out of the report here, and then we're going to go ahead. When we move here, go ahead and run the assessment. Okay, completely get out. Get out. We're now going to go and run the assessment to move the cost of the supporting cost centers into the production cost centers. Those are fixed costs. And those fixed costs that are coming into the production cost center added with the fixed cost centers that are already in the production cost center, which are the direct fixed costs. Now we're going to move the indirect fixed cost into the production cost centers. And then when we tally the two, when we sum up the two, we get the total fixed cost that will be used as overhead application during production. Okay, during production order creation and inventory, production order creation of the finished and semi-finished goods. So we're running here our assessment, plan assessment, should I say. And this is it. This is our plan assessment. Take this one out and run it. And then we go again and compare read our report on cost centers. We should be showing yes, everything is fine. Let's go to the report. Here we will see that some cost centers have allocated completely their cost. Those are a portion of the supporting cost centers. Okay. Yes, as you can see, this has become bigger. Now we look at each. We see some 642 series numbers in some of the cost centers, like this one, which is administration, This cost center does not participate in the calculation of the good of cost of good manufacture. It will come later on in the cost of goods sold, okay, and also in COPA, which is the highest level, the operating concern of a company. Uh, so we have 462 300 employee cost assessment. So this cost center has received cost from another cost center, and that will be the same employee, that will be HR. So let's look at the purchasing. The purchasing, I believe, um, yes, if you look, the over and under absorption is 0. So which means all these costs that are here, supply, electricity, operating supply, electricity, gas, insurance, all these costs has been allocated out to using the assessment costs, secondary cost element of electricity, operating supply, telephone, insurance, and all other costs. So this cost center purchasing now has no cost at all remain in the cost center. I think similar is with HR. If we look HR, the over and under absorption of cost is 0, which again indicates that all the costs in the debit side have been allocated out using the assessment cost element that total the credit side. Now let's take one production cost centers, and we see that it still has over and under absorption, which is 4 million or 4,365, which is equal to the total debit of cost in this cost center, which is 4,365.44. So this cost center has received a lot of assessment costs, and this is where we need to calculate. So this value that you find in here will represent the fixed cost in this production cost center, and this is the value that is going to be allocated out to the cost object, the production order, as overhead. So I will not go further than that, and let me go ahead and stop the video, because that's all we wanted to achieve for this. The rest of the calculation, because it's going to take time, I'll just go and calculate them and then come back and finish this video uh, by attempting to determine the standard cost estimate, because that's the reason why we're making all this. Is for the standard cost estimate to be correct, that we want to make sure that the overhead that is going to be calculated later on is also correct and reliable data. Okay, so without further ado, I will just stop this video.